ó milẹ̀ tìtì. Success Radio Ìbàdàn ìkànnì ayé ń gbọ́. Òun sẹ́lẹ̀lẹ̀. ó milẹ̀ tìtì. Success Radio Ìbàdàn ìkànnì ayé ń gbọ́. Òun sẹ́lẹ̀lẹ̀. ó milẹ̀ tìtì.
ọ̀rọ̀ ọkọ pẹ̀lú ìyàwó ojú Olúwa ló lè tó. ọ̀rọ̀ ọkọ pẹ̀lú ìyàwó ojú Olúwa ló lè tó.
Thank you for being there. Thank you so much for being there. We appreciate you. Once again, we are live on Success Radio Ibadan. And this is no other program than the program you always enjoy on Sunday like this, informative, correcting, helping, building. And that is the School of Marriage Secret. You see, this program, both in Yoruba and English, we speak because marriage has no limit when it comes to language. My name is Kolawole Kayode on the program. I want to appreciate the management of Success Radio for making it possible for us to be live. Week in, week out. On this program, we always learn a lot of secrets when it comes to marriage. Ọ̀pọ̀ àṣírí Ọlọ́run máa ń fún wa láti kọ́ nípa ẹ̀ lórí ètò yìí, School of Marriage Secret. Where are we going today? The Yoruba said, Ibi abaroko tì sí là á fi àbọ̀ sí. By interpretation, the Englishman will say, where you stop, that's where you restart from. Last week we were talking about a very important topic. Marriage teething problems. In the Holy Book, the Word of God says, when I was a child, I used to behave like a child. I will cry like a child. I will eat like a child. I will complain like a child. I do everything like a child because I was a child. Nígbà tí mo wà ní èwe, mo máa ń ṣe bí èwe, màá ké, sunkún bí èwe, màá sọ̀rọ̀ bí èwe, màá jẹun bí èwe, màá já epo sáyà, màá jẹun gbà míì, màá lọ fọwọ́ mi ò ní fọwọ́ yẹn dáadáa. Ìgbà míì tí n bá jẹun màá fi oúnjẹ yẹn ra ẹnu mi and many things like that. All of that happened because I was a child. But the word of God now says, when I became a man, I left those childish attitude. And that's what we're talking about on this topic, marriage teething problem. This is part 2 of that topic. Part 2. We continue from where we stopped. When you talk about a teething problem, our mothers, our grandmothers, mothers generally, they used to say, ọmọ yìí ó ń ṣe tẹ̀yìn. That's in Yoruba land. That is, the child is about to grow teeth. A little child, 6 months old, 7 months old, 8 months old, the child is developing high temperature in the body. The temperature of the body is too high. So mothers, we say nursing mothers, grandmothers who have passed through those stages before, they will tell the mother of that child and say, that child is being disturbed because teeth want to grow from that child. That's why you see the child is not eating well. The temperature is so high. The child is crying all through the night. The child is not friendly. The child seems to be a bit cold, in relationship. The child is not smiling. When you put your hand in the mouth of that child, the gum will be a little warm or hot. Things like that. You see, all those symptoms happen to a child, and we can say them in relation to a child. Children less than a year old, children about a year old, 2-year-old, or something like that. But when an adult develop or is having high temperature in the body, the gum is hot, do we say that adult 20 years old, 25 years old, 30 years old is having teething problem? Now, coming into marriage now, we say there are marriage teething problem. If you can recall, there are some points we enumerated last week. All right, about 7 points last week we enumerated. We are going to continue from there this week. And so I want to pick it. Okay, number 1 that we talk about says you beat up your wife because your food is not ready. You insult your husband because he did not give you enough money. You have a feeling of regret that you married that man or you married that woman. You are using third-party information to judge your spouse. You are submitting your wife or your husband to condemnation from your family without you verifying whether their observation is right or wrong. You are telling your spouse that you are disappointed for marrying him or for marrying her. You are sending your spouse away so that your mother or your sister or your father will come and occupy the space in your house. All right, I want to continue from 8th point. The 8th point says, you prefer the company of your friend, the company of your brothers and sisters, the company of your parent to the company of your spouse. You don't like to stay with your wife. You don't like to stay with your husband. You don't like two of you to be together to discuss. You don't like you to sit down together. No.
Ìbàjẹ́ ká fọkọ láya sílẹ̀, ká rọra tàkété. Ìbàjẹ́ ká fọkọ láya sílẹ̀, ká má joyè agbọ́tẹ̀kù wífẹ́yẹ.
In other words, one way or the other, you avoid your spouse and you say you are married, you are the husband, you are the wife. It's a teething problem in marriage. Because this is the person you should live the rest of your life with. So why the avoidance? Were you not told on the day you were joined together? Were you not told on your wedding day? Were you not told during the engagement? Were you not told during the court or registry service or program? Were you not told during the marriage counseling? Were you not told during the marriage introduction? Were you not told by clergy men and women? Were you not told by parents? Were you not told by your in-laws? Were you not told by so many people that this is the person you are to spend the rest of your life with? But now, you are in marriage and you are avoiding the person. And your excuse is that you don't enjoy the company of that person. You see, it is possible that you may be a round peg and your spouse is a square hole. It is possible. I am not doubting that. But what I'm going to say is that the round peg may need to be chopped, yes, into a square in order to be able to fit into a square hole. Or the square hole will be covered and blocked. All those angle 90 will be blocked to become round so that it will be able to take a round peg. What am I saying? If both of you are not enjoying the company of each other, you have to sit yourself down. Why don't I enjoy what you do? Why don't I like to stay where you are? Okay, maybe because you talk too much. Okay, will you find a way to adjust a little? Okay, maybe I don't just like listening to people who talk too much. I too need to find a way to adjust. Okay, let me begin to develop that attitude. Okay, to listen to somebody. Maybe because you complain too much. Maybe because I don't like to hear complaints. So both of you, a little to the right, a little to the left, both of you have to find a kind of what we call equilibrium. You must find a solution to the marriage avoidance. As long as you prefer the company of somebody else to the company of your wife, you are not helping your marriage. It's a teething problem in marriage, and hey, your journey is still far. Sir, ma, your journey is still far. We can say that, you see, when you just got married, you know you are being used to the company of somebody else before your marriage. So by the time you enter marriage, you might not be used to that, the company of the new person who is now with you at home. That's why we say preferring the company of somebody else could be a teething problem in marriage. So you have to gradually develop that, affinity, proximity together, so that you begin to enjoy the company of each other, and you get over it with time. But we are now saying that you have been in marriage for 5 years, you have been in marriage for 10 years, 15 years, and you are still avoiding your husband, and you are still avoiding your spouse. It is going back to the illustration we made. How could we say a 25-year-old man, a 30-year-old lady who has body temperature, and we say it is teething problem? Only ọmọ ọdún 30 ó ń ṣe tẹ̀yìn ni. How do we explain that? You need to get over those situations. Another one is failure of trust or lack of trust between the two of you. You see, when you just got married, you may be looking at it that, hey, I've never slept with this person before. We've never been together in the same room before. So the first night, the second night, the third night, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, it is possible you wake up in the night and say, hey, what's going to happen? Will this person turn to another thing before they break? Will there be anything that will happen? What might, take place? That suspicion, lack of trust. Some, when their wife cook for them in the marriage of 3 months, some will be looking at it. Hey, are you sure this woman is not going to kill him and take away his property? Because he doesn't know, he has not known this person too well. Failure of trust, lack of trust. But now, also, even those early stage of marriage, you also have to find a solution around it, because a marriage where you cannot trust yourself will not last. It will be problematic. It will be torn inside the flesh. Now you have been in marriage for more than 3 years, and you are still having that suspicion against your spouse. Sir, you need to find a solution around it. And what solution are we talking about? That thing you are suspecting your wife for, that thing you are suspecting your husband for, if you need a trustworthy counselor, take your case, go and meet your counselor, yes, and discuss these issues. You see, this same issue of trust make spouses to live as strangers to each other. How do I mean? The two of them, they don't know themselves. And you are married, you are couple, you are husband and wife. Where you are working, your wife don't know. Where the wife is working, the husband don't know.
ojú Olúwa ló lè tó.
Whether you collect salary, your wife don't know, your husband don't know. The day you buy goods in your shop, your spouse don't know. Nobody knows anything. Only you know, and that's all.
ọ̀rọ̀ ọkọ pẹ̀lú ìyàwó ojú Olúwa ló lè tó.
You know what's funny? Some spouses even live in different rooms.
ká fọkọ láya sílẹ̀ ká rọra ta kété.
Both of them are special guests in the house.
àjòyè àgbọ̀tẹ̀kù wí fẹ́yẹ́.
Marriage, teething problems. If the wife want to see the husband inside the house, oh, they didn't go out. It's not that the man had gone to work. It's not that the woman had gone to work. Inside, within the same apartment, they are inside the same apartment. The man will have to be making call to call his wife in the other room. The woman too be making call to call the husband in the other room in order to see him.
ìbàjẹ́ ká fọkọ láya sílẹ̀ ká rọra ta kété. ìbàjẹ́ ká fọkọ láya sílẹ̀ ká má jò.
If it is civilization you call it, I can confirm to you by the word of God that that civilization is a destroyer of marriage, and that civilization will not bring peace.
kókó jábélé lọ́rọ̀ ìlera yẹyẹ.
Inside the same house sometimes, the husband and wife live in different rooms. Marriage teething problem we're talking about. Marriage teething problems. The husband and the wife, they live in separate rooms. Now, when the wife is in her room, she locks up the door. When the husband is in his room, he locks up the door from behind. So whenever the man, maybe they have not even got a child, believing God for a child. So whenever the man wants to see his wife, he has to knock and knock and knock. Inside the same apartment too. He has to knock and knock and knock. And the woman will be saying, who is that? And he has to be explaining himself and say, my name is Olumide. I am your husband. I like to see you. You see why am I laughing? Because marriage does not operate that way. Marriage is not managed in that way. Whoever is managing marriage that way is going to create problem for that marriage. And even you that cause the problem will not have peace.
ní bàbá Ifá ló dá fọmọ ìyá méjì tí wọn fi jẹun lọ́gbọ̀n pa.
You see, when it comes to marriage, God's agenda is that ewé gbọ́dọ̀ dọṣẹ ni. Yes, the two of them should mix up. As long as ewé want to separate, tewé ò bá ti fẹ́ dọṣẹ, wàhálà máa máa ṣẹlẹ̀. What I'm saying is that the leaf, green leaf, is used to wrap the soap. Now, in God's agenda of marriage, the leaf has to become soup so that everything will be able to flow together. But take note of this. The leaf don't have to become soap in bad behavior, in bad character. Everything has to be in godliness, in good behavior, good manner, good culture. You are not permitted to copy what is bad from your spouse. That's what I'm saying.
èyí tí ó pa wọ́n àdọ̀rọ̀ ìjà.
Another marriage fitting problem is you make complaint about every little thing your spouse do.
èyí tí ó pa wọ́n àdọ̀rọ̀ ìjà.
Every little thing your spouse do, you complain about it.
ní tèmi ni mo sọ
When your wife stand up, you say it's standing too much. When your wife sit down, you say she's sitting too much. When your wife talk, you say she's talkative. When your wife cook, you say the food is not good. When your wife close the door, you say the door is making too much noise. When your husband go out, you say she doesn't have respect. When your husband wear clothes, you say this cloth is not good. When your husband is eating, you say he doesn't have a good table manner. When your husband walk, you say he's not walking like somebody who is trained. When your husband read, you say he didn't even go to school. You are always complaining. Marriage is not operated like that. Maybe because you are newcomers into marriage, that's why you are doing that. Now you need to adjust. And if you have been in marriage for years and you are still behaving like that, sir and ma, you need to stop it and turn a new leaf and become more tolerant to your wife, to your husband. Another one people do, which has become a teething problem in marriage, is some men comparing their wife to their mother. Some women compare their husband to their father. They remember the home where they're coming from. They begin to say, but my father don't used to do this. You, this man, you are not even good. You don't do what my father used to do for me. Some will say, oh no, you are not even caring for me the way my mother used to care for me. You are not doing as much as my mother does. You are not as good as my mother. That comparison is a teething problem. It's one of the problems done by little babies. Those are complaints of little babies. Yes, the moment anybody carry them and the person is not their mother or their father, they begin to have this discrimination. So you too, as a husband, as a wife, you are not discriminating your wife, you are discriminating your husband that he is not like your father or she's not like your mother. And that kind of situation is not going to help that marriage. It's a teething problem. It's one of the problems at the early stage of marriage. But one of the new that is not too good is that some have been in marriage for years and they still keep having the same problem of early stage. You need to get over that. You need to tolerate your wife. You need to tolerate your husband. Yes, listen and get this right. Your wife cannot be exactly the same thing as your biological mother. Your husband cannot be 100% as the same thing as your biological father. Your wife is another mother that you have. Your husband is a new father that you now have. Now, learn to tolerate, learn to live with the new mother and with the new father. What I mean is that your case is like the case of an adopted child. Yes, when you are married, your husband has adopted you now as a new daughter. You too as adopted. Sorry, you two have adopted your husband as a new son. That is where it is. So both of you have adopted yourselves as daughter and son. Now, the adopted child has to find a way to adjust and live with the new parent and survive. Another one is anger and destruction. Anger and destruction of family properties. Some people can become so angry and they destroy everything they have labored for years. You see, I've also seen situation where a man in anger, yes, in anger, so angry, and they begin to destroy the thing that they have labored for. The same thing happened to women. Yes. You see, it is children, little children, a 2, a 3, under age, or maybe under a year. When they are angry, they throw away their food. When they are angry, they pour away their food, and things like that. If you see an adult, a man of 40 years, who because of anger throw away the food he spend his own money to buy. What do you say about that? Is that wisdom or foolishness? Omolaja Toyin Adebayo, we appreciate you for being there. So when people in anger, they destroy family property, they some tear their certificate, some break the television, some break the glasses that they have spent their own money to build. And if it's a rented apartment and you break the glasses, you will do another one. If you don't have money, you go and borrow. If you don't find, you have to whatever, because the landlord will not take. Nobody's going to listen to you that it's because you are angry with your wife or because you are angry with your husband. That's why you are destroying things. That's your own headache. If you cannot control your anger, people will tell you shouldn't have married. And now the surprising thing is that you have a man of 50 years, a woman of 47 years, who are still angry and destroying things, destroying property of their husband, destroying property of their wife because they are angry. Some women have thrown away their own child in anger.
Torí ìfẹ́ kì í bínú
that little baby they are still breastfeeding, they will drop the child in anger and walk out of that home. You see, there is no wisdom in that. It is a bundle of foolishness. But you are hearing this because it is not too late. God can always help any man who is willing to change. And this is another one again. It's an extension of the issue of trust. And what is the issue here, which is also a problem in the early stage of marriage? The man accusing the wife that she's a witch. The woman accusing her husband that he's a wizard. So they begin to accuse themselves. And what is the reason? Because the woman went to shop that day and she did not sell anything. And what happened was that because before she left the house, the man was angry and the man cursed her. And thereafter she believed henceforth that man must be a wizard. Because the man spoke in anger, the woman became a witch according to the man, because that morning when the man does not have the money to drop in the house, the woman was so angry and she spoke. And on the way, the man collided with a vehicle, got involved in an accident, and from that day he say he's a witch. And everybody begin to cancel them and say, you don't say that. But the man refused to, change the mindset. The woman refused to change her mindset. Look, it's a teaching problem. This is the person you have to live with in the rest of your life. And it is better you come to, understand yourselves. Understand your anger and how to manage it. Understand your mindset and how to manage it. You need to control, correct, and tolerate yourselves. Another fitting problem in marriage is threatening separation. Threatening your wife that you will separate from her, you will divorce her. Threatening your husband and say, look. My room in my daddy's house is still there. If your own is too much, I'll just pack my things and go out. In case you don't know, even if there is a room in your father's house where you can stay and live, going there is an insult for you. Going there there is no honor there. It's an insult. Even you as a man, to leave your wife, you now go and meet your mother or your father and stay with them, or you go and stay in your friend's house and you say, I don't want to see that woman again. And the woman say, I don't want to see that man again. That man is something else. Yoruba says the tongue and the teeth. The two of them, they used to quarrel. Sometimes they bite themselves, but then because they quarrel, because they had issues, we will not cut off the tongue and will not remove the teeth because of that. The two of them will still have to stay together in that mouth and perform the duty and the function God wants them to do. If there is no tongue there, teeth alone cannot eat the food. Oh. If there is no teeth there, tongue alone cannot do the eating. So both of them are needed. Look, my brother, look, my sister, daddy and mommy, there are a lot of things you need your wife to be there for you. There are a lot of things you need your husband to be there for you. Threatening divorce, threatening separation is not a solution. Find a way out. Come back together and settle your differences. You two have a fault somewhere. Wife, you two have a fault somewhere. Husband, you two have a fault somewhere. So see your fault, you two correct yourself, and let the other person to adjust and continue your life. Another marriage teething problem is this. This is Success Radio in Ibadan. And the program is the School of Marriage Secrets. This is where we learn about marriage. It's a school where we learn about marriage. And God help us to take care of what we need to do in our marriage, so that our home can stand and the society will be at peace. Another marriage fitting problem is you relating with your in-laws as if they are enemies. That kind of attitude is against the good culture in Yoruba land and in many other cultures around the world. I have not seen the culture all over the world where if you marry from their family, they have to become your enemy. No. Many times the intention of marriage into a family is to become another member of that family or become a friend of that family so that we can build good relationship within the society. You too begin to consider it, especially now if you are beginning to have children. Good. You too begin to look at it. If your own child grow up, come to the marriageable age and get married, do you expect the husband of your child or the wife of your child to become your enemy? If it happens, how will you feel? Do you think you'll be happy about that? If you will feel bad the same way, it tells you that you too should not do it now. That is why the Yoruba has this proverb about in-laws They say the person who give us wife to marry does not want us to die, without child, does not want us to die childless. That's why they allow us to marry their own daughter. Even the family that allow the woman to marry their son also does not want the woman to die childless. Thank you so much, Araniyaya from Isheyin. You can send your comment. You can also send your question on the program. We appreciate you for being there. Please help us to share the program to your contacts. Let them also be part of it. It's a whole lot of lessons. You see, another one Yoruba says when it comes to in-laws is that you don't become enemy to your in-laws for any reason. Whenever there's an issue, you rather explain what you can afford to do. That's it. You don't become to say I don't greet them or be abusing them. No, it's a taboo in this part of the world, and I'm sure it will be a taboo in many other parts of the world also. For example, if you're an Igbo man, you go and marry an Indian lady, should you become their enemy after marrying their daughter? No, nobody is going to take that. So what I'm saying in essence is that it's a marriage treating problem when you begin to see your in-law as your enemy. They come to your house, you don't greet them well. You begin to use nose to greet them. You are angry because they come around. You begin to murmur, and they have come to eat our food. They have come to collect our money, and they are disturbing us. No, you don't. You relate well with them. Yes, relate well with your in-laws. If there are issues, you can pass through your wife, who is their daughter, to relay the issue to them. Or as a wife, you can pass through your husband, who is their son, to relay the issues to them so that there will not be clashes. You see, part of the culture here is that you are not permitted to judge your spouse. No. The way you are not permitted to judge your in-laws. The way you cannot judge your own parents, you can also not judge your mother-in-law, and you cannot judge your father-in-law. God will not give you that power, and God does not give you. Like the scripture says, Apostle Paul was telling Timothy, he said, rebuke not an elder, but admonish an elder, counsel an elder, explain to an elder. In other words, you don't use insultive word to speak to an elder. You don't use harsh word to speak to an elder. You don't tell your mother-in-law, no, you don't talk to your father-in-law like that. You don't talk to your parent-in-law and say, Baba, oh yeah, you know my low sense now. Oh yeah, low common sense now. No. Even if they have done wrong, you don't talk like that. Thank God for Yoruba language. Thank God for English language. Thank God for all languages. There are always a better way to place an issue instead of using insult. There is always a better way. Alright, another one which is a marriage fitting problem. You see, some of these things happen because some don't understand what marriage is about. They don't understand the relationship they have entered into. Some are still strange to the covenant of marriage, and so they are abusing marriage. And marriage is not to be abused. You see, your solution is not abandoning one wife, get another one, abandoning one husband, get another one. You are only compounding the problem. If you are the type that coerce your spouse to shut up, you coerce your wife to silence her, or you coerce your husband to silence him, you know why it happens? That's what you used to do for your brothers when you are still with them. That's what you used to do for your sisters when you are still with them. That's how you bring out Cain. Yes, to beat your junior ones when you are living together with them. You know why I'm smiling? I'm smiling because some men bring out Cain and tell their wife, man, no, man, I'm going to cane you. I will whip you very well. I can confirm to you that that is the attitude and the character of a foolish man. Some women tell you, whoa, will you shut up there or I will slap your face. Is their husband they are talking to like that? Oh? And they are not joking, oh. They mean what they said. And if that man is not careful, they are going to slap that man, as you know, that woman has said it. But I tell you, even as a woman, if you have all the muscle, you have all the strength to do that, even if you are stronger than your husband, but you are slapping your husband, you are coercing your husband to shut him up, to silence him, it is all the character of a foolish woman. Both God and man will condemn you for it. All right, thank you so much for being there today on the School of Marriage Secrets. I appreciate so much Aroni Yaya for being part of the program, Omolaja Toyin Adebayo for being part of the program. Thank you so much, the management of Success Radio Ibadan. You can connect me on 070-5370-6276. Once again, you can connect me on 070-5370-6276. While we look forward to meeting again by next Sunday 5 p.m. I remain your fellow student in the School of Marriage. Kolawole Kayode. Thank you so much for being there. See you next week. I sign out.